Hello and welcome to MoonShotStudios. I am Ben, and today we are doing another No Man's Sky tutorial. Continuing on from where we left off, we got our base finished and we built a portal to get to the space station, and now we'll continue in the Awakenings storyline. So first we'll go up to the space station and talk to a few of the creatures there, and it'll give us this next mission to go back down to our base computer. And so we'll go to the base computer. And now it gives us this encoded signal. Encoded signal received, coordinates logged, reach the signal. Alright, so to reach the signal, let's get back into our ship. I just kind of go towards the signal here. And just press E to land. Alright, so it says encoded signal received. Activate a target sweep from the analysis visor. Oh no! Still having this issue with this creature. Alright, so 430 units this way. Well, this is quite a find. Really big crashed spaceship. Alright, so we'll go ahead and request log. Alright, so we have the blueprints for a hyperdrive. This is going to allow us to leave the star system and start exploring the entire galaxy, which is pretty exciting. First, what I'm going to do is use this thing called Starship. It uses 1 navigation data, and we have 2, which is good. Can always find more, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. We'll call the ship, and what's nice is this actually doesn't use the launch fuel. All right, so now we begin the installation of the hyperdrive. So we have our 125 chromatic metal that we made earlier on in another tutorial. We mined copper, made it into chromatic metal. We had a bunch left over, and that's really helped us out here. But now we need microprocessors. All right, so do we have the blueprints to build microprocessors? So we're going to look in here in our main EXOSUIT inventory. No, we don't. So let's see what it says here. Acquire components, purchase microprocessors. All right, so it says install hyperdrive, buy microprocessors. So we're going to go up to the space station. All right, so here we are at the space station. We'll just follow the locator, and that's going to take us to a trade terminal inside the space station. And now we can either buy or sell things. Just by clicking these tabs. So we can also change our inventory, which inventory we're looking at to sell things, by either clicking up here or hitting C. But we're here to buy stuff. Now, thankfully, we do have a little bit of money. I don't think we have enough to buy a microprocessor. Uh-oh. So we'll need to sell some stuff. We'll go back to sell. And we can look through here and see, is there anything in here that we just really don't need? And there's a few things. We need a lot of it since we're so early in the game, but we can sell this rusted metal. We'll go ahead and sell all of it. And we'll also sell this Viking effigy. We'll get a lot more of those as we play. We'll get rid of that. We've accidentally picked up a bunch of these feline livers. Just by defending ourselves from the creatures attacking us on the planet. That actually came in handy, because that's going to give us 65,000 units. Okay, so we need 5 of those microprocessors. Now, unfortunately, that's still going to cost us 137,000 credits. Alright, so we're going to have to figure out how to make more money. One way to do that is to scan creatures down on planets. So if you take a look, if you hit escape and go into your main menu here, If you look up here in the top left, over here on the left is your units. In the middle is your nanites. And then on the right is your quicksilver. This is a special currency that you can only get from doing missions from the anomaly, which we will discuss later. But right now we're going to focus on units and nanites and how to get them. Nanites are used to buy upgrades for your ships, your vehicles, your suit, your multi-tool. Pretty much anything upgrade related is nanites. Units are used to buy other ships and to buy certain other like materials and stuff like we're trying to do now. Instead of making it ourselves, we can just buy it if we have the units. So one thing to do, and one thing I like doing, especially in the early game, to make both money and nanites, is by scanning creatures. So we're going to go back to our home planet here. We're going to run out here, and if you hold down your analysis visor, oh, there's a red dot. So a scanned creature is going to have this green paw print, and an unscanned creature is going to have a red dot. So then we'll go ahead and scan it. And there we go. We got 1,600 units for that. And then I found another red dot as we were standing. There it is. All right, we got another 1,600 units for that. Okay, now that we're back at the base, we will look at what we can do. Go to the Discoveries tab, and then we look down here. We've got flora, fauna, and minerals. And this kind of keeps account of what we've scanned. And this is what we've discovered so far as flora goes, and this is what we've discovered so far as minerals go. Now, the important one, and the one that you can use to make nanites really fast, is if you scan all the creatures on a planet. In this case, there were only 5. If you scan all the creatures for the planet, you get a bonus. So you have to hold that down, and now we've got 1,300 nanites. Okay, so what do we do with that? Because we need money to buy these microprocessors. So we got a bunch of nanites. We got a little bit of money from scanning the creatures, but we're going to need more money faster. Well, there is a way to do that. Okay, so now we're here at the station, and when we get a little bit further away, you can see that all of these sort of storefronts have little icons above them. To make more money while scanning a planet, we'll need to go to the multi-tool vendor. And they not only sell multi-tools, I believe they sell 2 different kinds, one on that side, one on this side. But if we go to the technology merchant, we'll purchase upgrades. Now, these upgrades have to be purchased with nanites. So what do we got here? Mining beam module, scanner module. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for scanner modules. And this is a C class, so it's not very expensive, but it also won't help us a whole lot. So I'm gonna scroll down and see if we can't find a higher class scanning module. Here's a B class. It's a little better. So yeah, let's go for the B class module. So we'll go ahead and buy this. And then if you click into your EXOSUIT, this will be here, and it will say E to install. It'll automatically switch over to your multi-tool. Just put it in one of the slots. Let's see what this does. This improves our scanning radius by 17% and includes our mineral analysis by 2,700%. So that means we're going to make a lot more money when scanning rocks. So let's go to a different planet and scan all the creatures and scan all the rocks. This is a weird looking planet. Look at these columns. No wonder it's called a columned planet. So we'll just start scanning. So you see this one rock got me 5,600 units. Scan the creatures. I bet this planet only has one kind. That gave me 3,000 units, and yes, it only has one. So because of that, before we forget, we'll go back into discoveries. It'll automatically load into the planet we're on. Go into here, and since this was only one creature, it's only going to give us 250 nanites, but, you know, whatever, we'll take it. So let's scan some more rocks. Just kind of look around and scan whatever pops up. Even if stuff looks similar, sometimes it's a different thing. Alright, so we'll fly back up to the station so we can buy our processors. Run over to the trade computer. Galactic trade terminal. Scroll down to microprocessors. We need 5, so it's set to 1 right now. So we can either press E to raise that value or use these arrows. We need 5. Go ahead and buy that. It took almost all of our money. Now, acquire components, chromatic metal. We already got the chromatic metal, so we can kind of skip that. It says gather copper, but I'm pretty sure we can skip that because we've already installed the chromatic metal. So we'll install the hyperdrive. And there we go. Oh, but it is empty. So now we're going to need to make hyperdrive fuel. Let's see if it tells us how to do that. Auto diagnostics report. Hyperdrive successfully installed. Hyperdrive fuel status empty. My hyperdrive is complete. Perhaps I really will find answers out there amidst the stars, but without warp cells, I will be going nowhere. I need to find a source of antimatter. So, I'm going to tune scanner to antimatter. Okay, search for antimatter traces within the Starship scanner. Scanner attuned to antimatter. We'll go ahead and scan. Scanner detected antimatter trace. Reached the marked location. Alright, so we'll use our analysis visor. It says estimated distance 196 units. Target in range. Yeah, it's over here. So in these abandoned buildings, there's always a lot of goodies in these little boxes along the floor. So I usually try to open all those up too. Alright, so we'll go up to the abandoned terminal. I'll take all this goop off of it. Take blueprint. Messages, you will find us when the time is right. Alright, so we've learned the antimatter blueprint. It needs 25 chromatic metal, of which we only have 13, and condensed carbon. Okay, so we're going to need to go find some more copper to mine. That is a really big bug. Alright, so I'm going to tag this copper deposit. Alright, so we'll need our terrain manipulator, so we'll hit G and start gathering this stuff. Alright, so now we need to turn all this copper into chromatic metal, but we don't have the refinery, so I'm going to fly back to our base where the refinery is. Go down to Moon 02. Alright. So we're going to put this copper in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Alright, so that's done. Now we can make our antimatter. Here, antimatter. Alright. So we Can we just put the antimatter directly into the engine? No, we cannot. So now what? Assemble an antimatter housing. So we'll go here. It looks like we can. It needs 30 oxygen and 50 ferrite dust, which we do have. And then, using the antimatter, even though it's in our starship's cargo, using the antimatter and that, we can now make a warp cell. So then we can take the warp cell over, put it in there. There we go. Hyperdrive refuel. All right, so in space, access the galaxy map from your quick menu, move along specific paths or browse, and choose your own route. Warping requires warp fuel in your hyperdrive. Some systems require hyperdrive upgrades to access. We'll go through all that in a minute. So press X, and then we'll scroll over to Galaxy Map. And this is the Galaxy Map. So, just a quick rundown. In the top left corner, we have the Galaxy Core little mini-map. This is the Euclid Galaxy. We are 719,000 light years away from the galactic core. And then up in the middle we have a destination galactic core, and if you hit the left and right arrows it'll give you other routes. This becomes more obvious later on. Right now we'll just have it set to galactic core, and then the filter, once we get an economy and conflict scanner we'll be able to use those, but the filters just kind of filter out the colors. The different colors mean different life forms. We'll just keep it on no filter for now. Right now, the system that we are in is targeted, and it is based on these symbols here. We can tell that it is a Viking race, a mining economy with 2 stars, which means it's decent economy, and then it's peaceful. We only have this information once we enter the system until we can get an economy and conflict scanner. Then we can see systems before we enter. And then, so if we want to go to this next system, we select it, and right now we can only tell it's a Gex system. That's the race. It's 84 light years away. It's a G8PF, meaning this is a G-class star, and we also detect water in this system. So we hold down left click to warp, and now we've warped to another system. So we're at first contact in this system, meaning I am the first human to visit here. So the other thing I like to do before anything else is I like docking at the space station. So even though it's going to look very similar, this is a different space station. You can generally tell by the colors. So I've kind of made it a habit in my travels. Every time I visit a space station, I go to upgrade my exosuit. So we'll go up here. And then this is the multi-tool upgrades that we did earlier to get that scanner. But here are the exosuit upgrades. And I like to go over here. You can do this once per station. So every time you jump into a new system, go to the station, go here, and you'll get an opportunity to upgrade your exosuit. So you can either upgrade the technology section, or you can upgrade the cargo section. In this case, I'm going to upgrade the cargo section. Now, it's important to keep in mind, right now it's relatively cheap, but this will go up. Every time you do an upgrade, the next one's going to be more expensive. All right, so that's where I'm going to end it today. In that tutorial, we learned how to build the hyperdrive, get fuel for the hyperdrive, and warp to a new system. So until next time, 07 and fly dangerously, everybody. Bye-bye.